Before white settlers began to push into the vast west in any great numbers, an estimated 50 to 60 million buffalo freely roamed upon the Great Plains. American Indians hunted them for food and other necessities, and harmonious ebb and flow between man and beast prevailed. However, after the Civil War, that would change as more and more people moved westward. As a result, new army posts were established and to supply those many soldiers, the army contracted with local men to supply buffalo meat to feed the troops. At about the same time, the Iron Horse also began to blaze a trail into the west, and these construction men also had to be fed. Adding to the need for food, people back east were demanding buffalo robes used as coats and lap robes when riding in sleighs and carriages. These events put many a man to work as buffalo hunters. Leavenworth, Kansas became a trading center for the buffalo hides, and tanneries who found even more uses more for the material, such as making bright bears for industrial machines and grinding buffalo bones into fertilizer. In some places, buffalo tongues became a delicacy in fine restaurants. Soon, the demand for buffalo had increased to such a degree that year-round work was available for buffalo hunters. This all occurring when the economy was depressed after the Civil War, led many a tough man to earn his living as a buffalo hunter. Armed with powerful long-range rifles, individual hunters could kill as many as 250 buffalo a day. Tanneries paid as much as $3 per hide and $25 for each tongue, which made nice living for 100 men of men, including Whittier, Bat Masterson, Pat Garrett, Wild Bill Hickok, and William F. Cody, just to name a few. Unfortunately, once these hides and tongues were taken from the carcasses, the edible buffalo meat was often left to rot on the plains. By the 1880s, over 5,000 hunters and skinners were involved in the trade. The Indians watched his dismay as buffalo hunting took on an almost carnival atmosphere when railroads began to advertise hunting by rail. This occurred when trains sometimes encountered large herds of buffalo crossing the tracks, seeing a way to capitalize on the problem. Advertising flooded the newspaper, and in no time, sporting men with rifles were shooting buffalo by the hundreds just for fun. Those animals shot them, the train were simply left where they died. As the slaughter continued, the Indians became increasingly angry and resentful as they watched their main source of sustenance dwindle at the hands of the white men. This led to more and more Indian attacks, which resulted in US Army retaliation at the height of Indian Wars. At this time, the US government desired to separate the Indians from the rest of civilization by placing them on reservations. To do this, the US Army aggressively pursued a policy to eradicate the buffalo, intentionally extinguishing the Indians' sustenance, which would force them on reservation. In fact, when the Texas legislature was discussing a bill to protect the buffalo, General Philip Sheridan defended the buffalo hunters and opposed the bill by saying, "These men have done more in the last 2 years and will do more in the next year to settle the vast Indian question than the entire regular army has done in the last 40 years. They're destroying the Indians' commissary, and it is a well-known fact that an army losing its base of supplies is placed at a great disadvantage. Send them powder and lead, if you will, but for lasting peace, let them kill, skin, and sell until the buffaloes are exterminated. Then your plains can be covered with speckled cattle." By 1884, the great era of the buffalo ended, and nothing remained of the massive buffalo herds but piles of bones,